哎，小朋友们，你们听说过脸书、Instagram 和 Google 这些东西吗？
没有，好像没有哎。那什么东西啊
All over the country, India banned TikTok.
Pandemic situation where people were sitting inside and they were not even allowed to move on the streets.
Yeah, I don't like it.
TikTok has somehow managed to subvert the high school logic of popularity. That is, you need to be good looking, rich, or have lots of friends to be seen. In fact, social marketers have often touted TikTok as the anti-Instagram. Let's take a look at how different types of content have taken off on Instagram versus TikTok. Hashtag pretty girls at 8.1 million posts. Hashtag luxury lifestyle, 29.4 million posts. Yup, that's Instagram envy for you. And then let's pick something that could have gotten you bullied at school, like being an amputee. Yup, we're not mincing our words here. And unsurprisingly, it comes in at a meager 469,000 posts. And now let's look at the same tags on TikTok. Here's a caveat though, instead of the number of posts, TikTok measures the popularity of its hashtags in the number of views. Hashtag pretty girls and luxury lifestyle show, well, pretty similar traction. And hashtag amputee comes up to, wait for it, 1.4 billion views. I wonder why.
I lost my left leg in a car accident in 2011.
I had a little wound, and that causes infection and it leads to gangrene on my right leg.
I thought I had a common cold. I ended up like this. I don't actually know why hashtag amputee is so popular on TikTok, but internet is a pretty weird place.
These amputees have bravely volunteered to react to some of the most watched TikTok videos with the hashtag amputee. Honestly, I feel a little bit concerned.
Eye of the
sarcoma cancer.
Yeah, I don't like it. They should be more sensitive in posing these type of videos to the world. Because sometimes like children may see it lah.
It's very real because, you know, it's her wound, she's recovering.
If the intention is really just to be graphic and get attention, then I don't quite agree with that.
Can I have it back?
Thanks, can I have it back? Oh, okay.
Thanks. Can I have it back?
I think these people are quite young, right? So I think in a way maybe TikTok is good that it kind of helps them to release their angst.
It is probably not the kind of content that the platform is intended for, but people will do what they want, and you know there's really like no stopping them. So this lady actually doesn't have the middle finger on either of her hands, so she can't flip people off, and I'm actually the exact same way, so I actually don't have any of my middle fingers either.
If it helps to get people used to the idea of seeing the disabled, I think that is useful.
Love or hate what you're seeing, the power to go viral is in the hands of everyone, even the underdogs. But what if I told you that it is actually a scarily powerful thing? It might even have changed an entire country. And no, I'm not talking about a tiny Caribbean island nation, but one of the most populous countries in the world. India. Have you noticed you're seeing more and more of these cute videos of villages from somewhere in India? These rural folks are finally getting in on the social media revolution.
Smartphones have become so cheap that everybody is able to afford it. Second thing is the broadband, the internet. The penetration is quite deep in India. In fact, India is one place where the data is like amongst the cheapest in the world.
In the year 2020, India officially has more internet users from its rural regions than its urban areas. And TikTok came at just the right time to woo this massive pool of users.
TikTok के फीचर्स बहुत अच्छे थे जो कि एक साधारण जो मतलब खेती करते हैं या जो पढ़े नहीं हैं उनको भी समझ में आ जाता था वो। मेरा नाम महेश सत्वापक आपसे है। मैं बुल्ढाना महाराष्ट्र में बुल्ढाना डिस्ट्रिक्ट लोनार तालुका और लोनार के पास वेनी गांव है हमारा जहाँ पे मेरा जन्म हुआ था और वहीं पे मेरा बचपन गुजरा है।
Just to give you a sense of how out of the way his village is, imagine you just got to Mumbai for a holiday. To visit Mahesh, you would have to drive 11 hours from the city to the middle of nowhere. It's so forgotten, this village has seen barely any economic development in decades. And this is the town where Mahesh, 23 years old, was born and raised.
तू समजलं ना शेतीत कसं काम करावं लागते म्हणून या शेतीत शेतीचं काही खरं नाही आता सध्या सोयाबीनचं काहीच खरं नाही किती लोकांकडून पैसे आणून दिले पण कोणा संग वाद नाही काय नाही आता जसं महेशनं हे केलं
जाऊ द्या
तसं तू भी काही काही
हमारे गांव के भी बहुत सारे लोगों ने मेरा भाई फेमस हो गया इसके कारण टिकटॉक ज्वाइन किया टिकटॉक इंस्टॉल किया अपने मोबाइल में।
That's right. These days, going viral on TikTok has become a well-paying alternative to working the farms for India's rural communities. These are Mahesh's videos. This is the most watched one with over 71 million views. His speed painting skill is so one of a kind, Indian stars and international cricket players send him their personal reactions via TikTok. As a villager from a remote area, he almost went undiscovered. But on TikTok, he gained 1.3 million fans in just a month, and also an income that is almost 4 times what his family earns from farming.
आता त्याला अजून बी काही कोणी पेंटिंग बनवून घेते कोणाचा वाढदिवस असला ना की कोणी ते त्याच्याकडून बनवून घेतो व्हिडिओ बनवून घेतात काही लोक 2000 रुपये दे कोणी 5000 रुपये बी देऊ शकते लोक सांगायचे बघा तुम्ही म्हणत आपलाच मुलगा आहे त्याला खरं पटत नसे ते
गैस लिया है जो टिकटॉक से मुझे पैसे मिले थे पहले घर वालों को मतलब इस सिगड़ी पे बनाने के लिए थोड़ी ज़्यादा दिक्कत होती थी क्योंकि वो एक ही थी और जब ये हमने लिया तो यहाँ पे उनको बहुत आसानी होती है उस पे बनाने में और 2 अच्छे से बर्नर है उसके तो अच्छा है वो
Influencer marketing platform Zefmo Media says about 1 million TikTok users depend on the platform to make money. Other apps don't yet offer the revenue that TikTok does.
TikTok made possible something that no other internet giant did. Not Facebook, not Instagram, not even Google. TikTok allowed India's rural poor to make a living as internet celebrities. In fact, with at least 200 million active users, India became TikTok's largest overseas market.
The rural people, they loved it. They had never experienced something like how many people are following me, how many likes I have and all. That gave them that rush, come on, let's do it more. And that's where I also sensed the danger.
Okay, shall I start? There was a social influencer on TikTok, Riaz Ali, and he's got millions of followers on that. He made a video exactly on the date of 1st April, and it was stating that कि कोरोना वायरस इंडिया से चला गया है और हम लोग पहले जैसा घूम सकते हैं।
व्हाट्सअप सो अभी एक नई न्यूज़ आई है कि कल से हम लोग घर के बाहर निकल सकते हैं, हम लोग घूम सकते हैं, कुछ भी कर सकते हैं, पहले जैसी ज़िंदगी जी सकते हैं। कोरोना वायरस भाग चुका है इंडिया से। एंड गाइस, कल 1 अप्रैल है, हैप्पी अप्रैल।
In the pandemic situation where people were sitting inside and they were not even allowed to move on the streets, this particular TikToker, he's coming out of his gate, touching the road, and provoking people, innumerable people to do the same.
Mohsin usually covers COVID-19 related updates, so viewers have the right information to stay safe. This includes conveying lockdown rules like staying indoors or wearing masks when you're going outside. But he soon realizes that miscreants on TikTok are sabotaging his mission.
हम लोग को पुलिस वाले नहीं मारते, सेलिब्रिटी है हम, सेलिब्रिटी को पुलिस नहीं मारती है।
They are going viral by showing off how they break lockdown rules without getting caught and taunting others to do the same. And this behavior is spreading through their massive fan base. To fight that, he has to resort to exposing these TikTokers on the news.
These influencers, they are not followed by mature people. These people are being followed by tremendous middle class people in the nation, in the whole country.
The rural community, they are more vulnerable because they don't have the kind of awareness programs that happen, let's say, in a city.
Because this miscreant behavior is quickly becoming a harmful trend, especially in the rural communities, the Mumbai police have to take serious action.
हमें मौत से डर नहीं लगता। अस्सलाम वालेकुम।
On top of arresting these miscreants, the police also forced them to put up a public apology.
तो मैं सॉरी बोलना चाहूँगा मुंबई पुलिस को और मेरे वजह से दूसरे लोग भड़क रहे है ना फहद, और मैं दिल से सॉरी बोल रहा हूँ, ये मैं जिंदगी में दोबारा नहीं करूँगा।
It's not just in India. The quest to draw attention has given us several disturbing trends. Teenagers twerking to sexually explicit lyrics, a graphic suicide attempt that kept getting re-uploaded by trolls, and even a mounting death toll from dangerous TikTok stunts. Several media outlets have already lambasted TikTok for how questionable content can make it onto the site. BBC even called it the Wild Wild West. But is it true? Is TikTok really a platform where anything goes?
I believe TikTok is the last sunny side of the internet. There is a perception that it's a platform where we don't have strict rules. I feel like that's a misconception. It's kind of uncool to say we're strict. But the fact is, we are strict. We do not allow content that is hateful. We don't want to be a place for distasteful content. We don't want to be a place for activism. That's not what the brand stands for.
TikTok even outrightly bans hashtags like sexy, suicide, or drug-related words. In the second half of 2019 alone, TikTok forcibly removed more than 49 million videos that were in violation of their guidelines. Most of the removed videos were from India, followed by the United States. But that wasn't enough. On 29th of June 2020, India made a decision that crushed the dreams of rural TikTok stars all over the country. India banned TikTok.
और जो भी मैं पैसे टिकटॉक की तरफ से कमाता था,
परंतु ते बंद झाल्याच्याने ते पैसे कमी आहे ना, आम्हाला वाटलं घर बांधावं आम्ही, टीव्ही घ्या, हे घ्या, अलमारी घ्या, फ्रीज घ्या असं वाटलं होतं, पण ते बंद झालं त्याच्याच्यानं काही आता नुकसान झाली आमची.
What if this ban has nothing to do with protecting Indian citizens from malicious content? What if it's a bigger political move to rid the world of a Chinese-owned app?
आओ इधर, ये पेपर थोड़ा उधर कर दो। ये मेरे हमेशा हेल्प करता है। जहाँ तक कि लोनार एक काफ़ी अच्छी जगह है और यहाँ पे मतलब जितना लोनार फेमस है उतने मतलब यहाँ पे आते नहीं हैं लोग देखने के लिए। तो मैं टिकटॉक पे फेमस हो गया था तो मैं चाहता था कि मैं यहाँ पे वीडियोस बनाऊँ और इस जगह को और भी ज़्यादा फेमस कर पाऊँ। मतलब मैं यहाँ पे बनाने की बहुत इच्छा थी मेरी, पर बनाने से पहले ही अभी टिकटॉक बैन हो चुका है। अभी कंप्लीट हो चुका है और ये मैंने साधना में बैठे हुए भगवान शिव की पेंटिंग बनाई है और वो भी मेरी सुने और टिकटॉक वापस आ जाए।
TikTok seems perfect for a time when the internet is finally getting to more remote parts of the world. It is intuitive enough for even the Indian villagers with little digital experience to take to it instantly. But on 29th of June 2020, TikTok was abruptly banned by India, leaving about 1 million Indian influencers in the lurch. Why did this ban happen?
I think it's pretty clear that India banned TikTok because it wanted to find a way to retaliate against China.
China invested in the Sri Lanka port Hambantota and especially establishing the China-Pakistan economic corridor. From there on, I would say India is increasingly suspicious about China's expansion in influence in South Asia.
Wait, how did this get all political? Well, let me invite a political cartoonist to help us illustrate the situation.
India is like the much stronger power, the more dominant power in South Asia. And China being more influential in the region is sort of challenging that notion.
China and India, the two great powers of Asia. They've always been trying to keep each other in check, starting from the border they share. If you're an avid traveler, you might have posted pictures of this picturesque location with breathtaking views of the Himalayas. But you may also remember the heavy border patrols. And in June 2020,
Indian soldiers have been killed in a violent border confrontation with China, and it's the first fatal incident reported in 45 years.
Perhaps the most serious escalation along the border since the two sides.
Tension has hit one of the worst points for decades between the two most populous countries in Asia.
Of course, it accelerated India administration's suspicion towards the Chinese interest in the country.
India didn't want to escalate militarily against China. It didn't want to stop economic trade entirely, and so it was looking around for other options.
So, just days after the deadly clash, 59 Chinese apps, including TikTok, were banned. And after yet another Indian soldier was killed at the border, India doubled the number of banned Chinese apps to 118.
TikTok is among one of the most popular apps in India, so that automatically make it the most prominent target. I think it is rather like a signal sent towards China that we are conducting an economic retaliation.
India's TikTok ban wasn't all that significant for China. I don't think it would have caused President Xi Jinping much in the way of sleepless nights. The implications of this are that it inspired America to do much the same thing, so India's move was very influential.
The Chinese Communist Party's brutality affects the rest of the world too. We welcome India's ban on certain mobile apps.
Now look, what happened with China with this virus, what they've done to this country and to the entire world is disgraceful. And we are looking at numerous different things. TikTok's one of them, one of many.
TikTok is the first really big Chinese consumer tech company that's built a global brand that has done really well in the US. The China hawks in Washington, which includes President Trump himself, see TikTok as a good way of demonstrating that they're tough on China. And so TikTok has become a political football between the two superpowers in the world.
When do we start seeing that kind of recent spike in interest in VPNs and blocking? Well, especially around...
You might not recognize this office, but these are the guys behind one of the world's most popular VPNs. We turn to VPNs when we are trying to access apps or sites that are blocked in certain countries. And ExpressVPN noticed an unprecedented spike in interest in the service this year.
There have been headlines all around the world talking about potential blocks around TikTok. We could see in the US there was a 10 to 20% increase, and very similar numbers in Japan, a 20% increase when there was a potential ban being discussed. In India as well. In Australia, we actually saw an even larger spike, which was 40% increase when the government was talking about a potential ban in early July. I think it's quite unusual to see a spike this significant, especially like 40%. Definitely what we're seeing is something that we haven't really seen before.
10 years ago, people talked about internet freedom, the open internet, one internet that would unite the world. Now it's clear that we're heading towards a much more divided future. Some people call it a splinter net.
没有听说过 Facebook， 我没有听说过 Google 和脸书。
哎，小朋友们，你们听说过脸书、Instagram 和 Google 这些东西吗？
没有，好像没有哎。那什么东西啊？
From as far back as 2 decades ago, the world criticized China for restricting what its citizens can access on the internet. Just like how the US tried to ban TikTok, China already banned several internet apps from the West. The result is a version of the internet that is unrecognizable to the rest of the world.
What happened with TikTok in America shows you the power of techno-nationalism when it takes hold. And so I think until America and China find a way of playing nicely with one another, then the internet is going to become more divided.